Hello, lovelies. So here we are, it's Friday, and I had promised you with the earlier video that I did earlier this week on the 6 steps to healthy communication that I was going to do a part 2 and tell you 6 things that you want to keep in mind when you're having that conversation. So just a quick recap is that we talked that Dr. Gay Hendricks had come up with a 10-minute sweaty conversation. If you haven't seen that video, you're going to want to go back and watch that video on how to create evolved communication. You know, if you're having those fights or those frustrating conversations over and over and over again and never getting anywhere with the conversation, then this is a step-by-step formula that he created that will help you evolve any conversation to get to a place where you can move past it. And you know, hallelujah for that, right? Because how many of us have those continued conversations that just never seem to go anywhere? So today I'm going to give you, beyond those, you'll want to go back and watch that video. It gives you 6 steps on how to set it up and how to create that conversation with the other person, whether that's a partner, whether that's a child, whether that's a coworker, whether that's a friend, a sibling. It doesn't matter. You can use it for every relationship you have in your life that is not moving in the direction you'd like it to. So in addition to that, there are some rules that go along with that conversation. And one of them is that, you know, really for this process to work the best, you want to invite the other person to do an experiment with you, and you can put the amount of time on it. He suggests 90 days. If that's a long period of time, you can shorten that. You can do an experiment for 30 days. You could even do an experiment for 7 days, but just try it. And then you both have the formula and you both have the rules, so you're on the same page. And that way you have truly the most optimum setup for success. So as you're approaching this healthy communication, you want to go by these 6 rules that Dr. Gay Hendricks has also outlined. And the first is that, again, you want to invite the person into this with you. The second is, and that's okay, if they decide that they don't want to do it, doesn't mean that you can't do it yourself. Following his steps will help you to have a clean heart, to know that you've come from a good place. So you can do this and feel empowered on your own. The second step, and the second rule, I should say, is no name calling, right? So I'm sure most of you don't do that, but sometimes when we're really upset and we just get frustrated, you know, we can revert back to our younger selves, you know, like a child having a tantrum. And we can use some names like you idiot, or, you know, that's stupid, or you're stupid. So no name calling while you're going through this step-by-step formula. Make an agreement with this person never to call each other a name again. Step 3, rule 3, is no labeling. So for example, if somebody does something and you don't like their behavior, you know, you don't want to say something like, you know what, you're not very caring, or you know, you're really insensitive. Labeling, adding a label to something is not going to be helpful. And this can be subtle, and this can include yourself as well, labeling yourself. So it's not just about how you treat others, it's how you treat yourself. How many times have you finished a conversation with somebody and thought, oh, can't believe I said that, I'm so stupid, or I can't believe I you know, reacted in that way again, and you punish yourself. So you want to use these rules for yourself as well. Rule number 4 is no bringing up the past. Keep it in the present. You know, no going for, you know, you did this last week, you did this a year ago, you did it yesterday. You want to stick to the present. And, you know, the thing you can do if you're noticing it's a pattern is you can bring it up that way. You can say to the person, I'm noticing that there's a pattern, and I'm seeing that, you know, this is somewhat of a pattern for you, and I'm wondering if it would be okay with you if I shared what I'm seeing with you as far as the pattern and what it looks like to me. So then it's more of a question, and it allows the other person to feel like they are not being attacked, but that it's their choice and they can choose to hear it or not. The 5th rule is you want to exclude the words always and never. Instead, say something like, let me just speak into this moment. Because using the words always and never, like you always do that, or you never do this, that immediately puts the other person on the defensive. And then what happens when somebody goes on the defensive? They close down. They stop hearing you. And then, there's the disconnection. And that is the opposite of what you want. You want to use this formula and these rules to create an openness of, so that you're really communicating in a way that, as I said, evolves the situation. Whether you're in a relationship with the person or not, it just feels good to show up in a way that's, as I said, clean, and applying it to yourself as well. If you tend to react, you don't want to say to yourself, oh, I always do this. You want to be gentle and compassionate with yourself. You use the words up until now. I've done this and I'm choosing to respond in a different way. So they're subtle things, but they're big things. And then number 6 rule is no hitting below the belt, right? When we've known somebody for so long, whether that be a relationship with a partner or your child or a parent or a sibling, you got the goods on each other, and it can be easy to go to that place where you're saying things that are really hurtful and hitting below the belt. And so, it can, that can really do damage, because it can be very tender for the other person, and it can create, just extreme vulnerability. So when we're hurt, it is easy to go to that place. So I'm inviting you to follow this rule, all of them, but this rule in particular, because you want to know that you are more than that experience that you're having. You are more than that experience. So what you want to say instead is, and I want to get this right, so I'm going to read it. You want to say something like, I feel blank when you do or behave like blank. And what I would like instead is, and then you share that. Are you okay with that? So we're going back basically to the steps of the formula that I delivered in my Facebook Live on Tuesday. So if you didn't see that, again, I'm going to remind you to go back to that. So those are the 6 rules. Invite the person, I'll just share them really quickly. Invite the person to do this experiment with you. You choose the amount of time you want to do it for. And no name. If the person doesn't want to do it with you, that's okay. You can still do it yourself. Number 2, no name calling. Number 3, no labeling. Number 4, no bringing up the past. Number 5, exclude the words always and never. And number 6, no hitting below the belt. So if you liked this information, if you feel like it's helpful, please like it in the comments below. You can like it. And if you feel like it would be helpful for somebody in your life that could use some tips on communicating, please share it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, and just holding you all in so much light and love. Thank you for being part of my community. It really means the world to me. Bye now.